Welcome back to the channel. WordPress 6.6 has just been released with some enhancements and new features. In this video, we will look at 3 exciting features. So, let's get started. First, I want you to look at pattern overrides. A pattern is a template of a section that we can create using different blocks and then use in various places on our website. As you can see, I have created a simple hero section using different blocks. Now, go to the top of the screen, and if we open up the list view, you can see it's very simple. It's just a stack with a group, and we've got a couple of items inside there, some headings, paragraphs, and a group of buttons. So what we're going to do is, we're going to select our stack, and then click on this 3 dots here and going to come down and then click on this Create Pattern option here to create a new pattern. So this allows us then to give it a name, to create a category to put in if we haven't already got one, and if we want to we can have these synced. So changes we make will synchronize across all different iterations, but it goes much further, so stick with me. We'll click on this Add button to save it. And now we have our pattern available. You'll notice now we have this Edit Original here. And we've got my hero block here in the left side. Now, let's delete this stack and add new pattern that we created. Simply click on this plus icon here and go to this pattern section and then search for our pattern name. For example, my hero block. So, you can see there's our new hero section. Click and add it in, job done. You can see that we cannot modify the content of this section from here. So, how do we deal with it? Let's come back out of here. We're going to go into the Appearance section and into Editor. Then we're going to open up Patterns from here, and this will show us all the different patterns that are part of WordPress. As you can see, there are multiple categories available to filters patterns. We will go inside this Banners category as we have saved our pattern in this category. Now, here you can see the hero section pattern that we have created. We are going to open this up, and there you can see an identical copy of it. If we make any changes to this, for example, if we change the hero section title to something else, and then click Save, every instance will reflect that change. This may not be ideal in certain situations. You might want to use this but change the actual content while retaining all the styling. We can accommodate this. Let's see how we can do that. First, toggle on the left panel and open the list as well. Here you will find all the blocks we used. Here is our first hero title. Go to the Advanced section in the right side panel, where you will find a new option to Overrides. Find this option and then click on this Enable Overrides button. If we choose Enable Overrides, we can give this a name, like My Hero Title, then click on the Enable button. Now we can edit this hero title instance by instance. Similarly, we can make other content editable as well. For the paragraph, enable the Override option in the Advanced section and name it My Description. Do the same thing for our buttons. Now you'll notice that we don't have the option here. We need to expand this group out and choose the specific button or buttons we want to make available. So now you can see here we have option to enable overrides. Follow the same process and enable overrides by giving it a name. So we have made these 3 sections editable. Let's click Save these settings and go back out. Here we have selected our pattern, My Hero block. In this pattern, we can edit all the text, such as changing the hero title, modifying the description, and customizing the button label. So now let's go to add another instance in. So let's scroll down, click our plus, and we will search for My Hero block. Here we have it. Simply click on it to add in. There we go. You can see now we have 2 instances, but they are different. So we can apply this as many times as you want to, any way we want to. In any case, if you want to reset the content, simply click on the Reset button to get the same copy from the main instance. There you go. Now, we have same content from our main copy. Now let's say for this example, if we change the content of one instance and keep another with the same copy from the main instance. Now, let's go back to our main instance, click on the Replace button, and change the background image. Save the changes. Now if we go back to our page, you'll see our background has been updated, but it leaves all the editable options completely intact. Now there are obviously limitations on how you can use this. As you can see, we can't currently set the background image. At least I haven't found a way of doing it. So we can make that an editable option itself. So there is that limitation. But this pattern override does open up a ton of possibilities, especially if you're handing off to a client and you want to give them a certain level of control while retaining all your design aspects. So that's pretty cool. Another great feature we have is the CSS Grid. Let's check it out. CSS Grid is really helpful for designing different types of boxes and sections. Let's select the grid and add one. By default, it comes with 3 by 3 columns, but we can change this based on our needs. Here we can set up a wider width. As you can see, we can make it full width or keep the default maximum width. In the right sidebar panel, we can set up different columns based on auto or manual settings. We can also change the size based on pixels, rem, or em. Let's set it to pixels. If we set it to 350, you can see it becomes one column. If we set it to 250, then we have 2 columns. If we set it to 150, it will have 3 columns. If we set it to manual, we can manage the columns based on auto width, which will adjust automatically based on the width, increasing or decreasing the range. Now, as you can see, we have 6 instances of this same block. Let's check it out. Here we have set it to rem, and if we check on different devices by clicking here. So when it drops down to tablet or mobile, it changes columns automatically. So it's responsive as well. Another cool feature is adjusting elements within the CSS Grid. You can modify rows, columns, and the space elements take up. First of all, let's set column type as manual and set columns as 2 to display 2 columns per row. For example, if we grab this first element and stretch it over 2 columns. There you go, it updates accordingly. Similarly, if we scroll down and grab this last element and stretch it to make it in full width column. This allows for a more visually interesting layout. It's pretty cool how this works, and hopefully, this feature will expand in the future. The first version may be quite limited, but we can expect more control and flexibility with CSS Grid in future updates. Another interesting feature is called Rollback for plugin auto updates. If you've ever set up auto updates in WordPress or accidentally left them on, you know that updates can sometimes break your site without you realizing it. This feature automatically reverts the plugin to the previous working version if it detects an issue. Alright, those are the 3 key new features in WordPress 6.6 that I think are definitely worth talking about. Let me know in the comments section down below which was your favorite feature, or if you have any questions. For premium plugins, visit the.store.com. For more videos like this, subscribe to the .store channel. Thank you for watching.